Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Your ever fun-loving pitmaster Bill here from the Boogie Woogie BBQ, talking to you today about a serious subject, and that is, a good rack. Everyone knows what a good rack is. Everyone knows what it looks like. Everyone wants one. You need something that's correct. You see a good rack, it's like, what should I say? It's like that birthday where you became legal. You know what I mean? And Super Bowl Sunday, all wrapped into one. It's a feeling that you can't beat. You see a rack, you gotta have it. You need to release it. You need to enjoy it, experience it. I won't go on any farther because, quite frankly, I get a little misty-eyed when I'm thinking about it. So I've got my lovely and talented wife, Margaret, here, and she's going to bring her rack over here to me. Honey, could you bring it? I would love to. See this? You see it? Look at the striations. Look at the, can you see the right amount of fat on there? Can you see that? You're going to love this rack. You are going to love this rack. I'm going to adjust the camera right now, and then I'm going to show you exactly how we get this thing ready to go on the grill. Smoke it. So right here, my friends, what you're looking at is a full short rib, they call it, or a full rib. It doesn't matter what you call it. Basically, you have the breastbone up here. It'll have this little bitty flap. This one doesn't have much of a flap on it. I'm going to show you how we trim this up and we get this ready to go for a little bit too much extra fat right there. That's not going to render out very well, and it'll just disappear. But what I like is I like the St. Louis cut. Now, the St. Louis cut, in case you're wondering, is probably from here to here and there. Okay, that makes your St. Louis cut. This is the breastplate. You don't need this. I'm going to tell you right now, always go for the full rib. Don't kid yourself with that baby back crap, because that's just a rib that people used to throw away, but they decided we'll give it better press, so they put it out there, and then baby back became like the word of the day, and everyone went into it. But if you want a rack, you want a rack that has meat on it. You want something that's juicy, something that you're into that rack. You're like this. You're ready to go. It's an event for you. I don't understand people who eat who don't like it to be an event. You want in there. Anyhow, this is what we're gonna do. I don't know if you can see it, but first off, I'm gonna take this. We're gonna take this flap, and like I said, this isn't much of one. Get yourself a nice little 10-inch blade, okay? Nice little 10-inch blade, because in a minute we're gonna need a little power to trim this out and get the St. Louis off of it. Now, this little flap right here, a lot of people, I've seen people throw this away. Well, you could probably throw it away if you wanted to, but I am a frugal person. I don't like to throw it away. I've heard a lot of people take that and they'll put it into beans. I'm not a legume person. I don't like beans, but some people will throw that in there if they want. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to come down here on this side. There's going to be like one little rib right there. It's not really a rib. It's kind of, but it's not really. But what we're going to do is we're going to square that off. So I'm going to cut this right here. There's that. We're getting there now. Now you're starting to see. Yeah, now I'm starting to expose the rack. This is what I call it. Now up here, like I said, this is the breastbone, the breastplate, whatever you want to call it. This really has to go. If you were doing a competition thing, that right here would be where your competition ribs are. But as you can see, I don't have my gloves on. I don't have anything like that on because I'm just doing this for family and friends. So I don't really care that much about that. Now, this breastplate right here, if you just took the bone off right there, just this part, then you would have what a lot of people refer to as a Kansas City rib. And you would leave all this on there and life would be good. But I'm not going to do that because we want to get right down to the St. Louis. So what you do is you come in here about, 3 ribs, 4 ribs. You find right about where the longest rib bone is, which is on this one's right there. So forgive me, like I said, I'm visually impaired, so sometimes this gets rougher than it should be. But if you put your fingers like that and just make a quick cut right there, make sure you're hard, make sure you're sharp. Everything's good. We're gonna go right across there. This is gonna make a straight line right across that rib. Now, if you have a really sharp knife, you can go ahead and do it, but I like to put just a little bit of power behind it. So I get up here and I'll hear that satisfying little crunch. There it is. Yeah. Over here, if I can find my line, there's my line. Just that little crunch. Over here. Boom. We're through it. Now we'll cut it up. Cut that right off. We're squared up. There we go. So this is your rib plate. Some people call it the brisket, the loin, I don't know, or the brisket part, they'll call it the brisket flap. These are what, okay, a lot of people throw these away. You see there's the cartilage that you had to rip through. I don't throw any of this stuff away. I actually rub all this up. I put it on the smoker, and these little gems right here, I call these the Pitmaster snack because they're thinner. They get done much faster than your ribs are going to get done, and I just like to eat them. You know, that's part of being the Pitmaster. That's what you get to do. So right now, the next part of this subject, and you can do this a couple of different ways, is we're going to remove this membrane. A lot of people will leave it on there. If they leave it on there, they are not professionals. Do not eat their food. It'll kill you in the end. So come over here, and usually you can get a little flap that comes up. This membrane, I've heard people say that they keep it on because it helps keep their ribs together. It does this, it does that. But you know what? If you need something to keep your ribs together, you don't know how to barbecue it. So we're going to come in here. I'm going to put this knife in here. I'm going to get it just started. Just started. Now, these are slippery little fellas. Hard to hang on to. But you're going to get that corner started. You're going to grab it here. And if you're lucky, if you're really lucky or talented, which apparently I'm not because it's already ripped, but a lot of times this will come off just as one big whole piece. And I'm not that talented this morning. Could be a visual impairment thing. I'm not sure. But here we go. We're going to take all of that membrane and we're going to come right off with it. Bigger piece. Still a little piece over here. Grab one more. This was so much easier to do when I could see. As was a lot of things, let me tell you. So, now that I've wasted all of your time, we're almost there. Hang on. The next part of this whole endeavor is going to be my absolute favorite aspect of this, and it should be yours too. Well, short of cooking it and having a nice beverage. But there we go. That's pretty good shape. Now your average one is going to give you about 12 bones, anywhere from 11 to 14 really. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 12 on this one, which is usually what happens. That there's just a little bit too much fat on the back side for me, so we'll trim that just a hair. There we go. Perfect. Now comes the favorite part of the whole process here. I get to grab myself a little bit of my spice rubs that are available on eBay and soon to be on the website, and that is the Love That Rack. I have to turn it a little bit because I can't see if you're seeing. Love That Rack. Love That Rack. It's a curse and yet a blessing. So anyhow, we're going to take a little bit of this. Now you can do this. This package comes. This is an 8-ounce package. An 8-ounce bottle available on eBay. You'll see it down below. And basically, what we want to do is we just want to put a little bit here on the back. Now I don't really worry about it sticking too much on the back because it will anyhow. But once we get this down here like this, get a nice little cover. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. Just pat that baby in just a little bit. Just a little bit like that. That's going to hold on there good. I don't usually put like a lot of rub on the backside. Mostly this is just for looks. Now comes what we're into, the serious part. Push it. Flip this baby over. Now look at that. That is your perfect St. Louis cut rib right there. Perfect in every way. I put just a little bit of olive oil on the top side. It doesn't really do much for the flavor. I suppose you could use really any oil you want. I don't think it would matter that much. This one, I'm going to open the other side of the bottle. Oh yes, conveniently packaged. And now we're gonna liberally, guys. Which are like I say, this is good. A lot of people, you can just put this right directly into beans if you wanted to. I suppose it wouldn't particularly matter or anything. But I don't like beans, so if you went to a restaurant or a smokehouse, something like that, a sports bar, these would be called those would be, I call them riblets always, but a lot of people will call them, rib tips. But for me, this is what I get to eat in the middle of the cook. I enjoy it with a nice beverage because these guys are going to be done in approximately 2 hours, where my ribs are going to be anywhere from 4 to 5. So now I've shown you how to get everything ready. We're good to go. In a few days, maybe even sooner than that, I'm going to show you how I go about smoking them. What time to stack them, what temperatures we're running. All that's in the next episode. So for right now, my barbecue brothers and sisters, go out there, have some fun, and of course, don't even question it. Love that rack.